So Michael Cohen wraps up 3 days of testimony on Capitol Hill today.
But yesterday's public hearing was heated, at least in parts. Congressman Jody Hice serves on the House Oversight Committee. He questioned Cohen about his testimony preparation.
Did you or anyone else on your team cooperate with the Democrat Party in preparing for this hearing?
We've spoken to the party.
Okay. Did you prepare with Chairman Cummings or anyone on your team?
I'm sorry, what do you mean by prepare?
Prepare for this hearing.
Prepare? I prepared with my counsel.
Congressman Hice joins us now to expand upon his thoughts from yesterday's hearing. In addition to the House Oversight Committee, he's a member of the House Committee on Natural Resources and a ranking member of the Oversight and Reform Subcommittee on National Security. Congressman Hice, thanks so much for joining.
I'm glad to be with you. Thanks for having me.
So what did you want people to know, or what do you want them to take away from your line of questioning about whether Michael Cohen was meeting with the Democrats beforehand? Was this pre-hearing collusion?
Well, I mean, it certainly gives the appearance of that. I mean, apparently, there's been preparation between Cohen and Democrat leaders and the party and the staff for potentially months going on here. And the significance to me in all of that is the real purpose behind the hearing in the first place. I mean, just think of it. Here's the first time in the history of Congress that we have an individual who has been convicted of lying to Congress who's been invited back to give testimony. So you have to ask why. Why is this? And the purpose is this is all about laying a foundation to potentially impeach the president. And the Democrats are going to whatever lengths they can to try to get something that they believe will start that process, even to the extent of getting someone who has no credibility whatsoever. And the fact that there was efforts in preparing for this for months with the Democrat, I find very alarming.
Congressman, I hear you on Michael Cohen's credibility, certainly an imperfect witness. However, what does it say to you that so many people around this president, from both before his time in office and then during his campaign, certainly, and also during his presidency, have been convicted as liars?
Well, I mean, that's certainly something to be considered. But what administration hasn't had this type of thing? And the fact is, with the Obama administration, we were not allowed.
Hold on. Name one other administration that had members
of the
campaign chairman indicted for
lying.
lying. National Security Advisor Rick Gates. You've got Michael Flynn, personal attorney. I mean, the president told us he had the best people. What does it say that he uniquely has worked so closely with people who were willing to lie on his behalf?
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly an issue. But you look also at what's happened at the FBI. How many have gone down at the FBI? And we've not been able to get into all this type of information, although we've been trying for a long, long time. And, you know, there's no question the point you bring up is well taken, and it is an issue. But there's also issues from the Clinton scandals that we've not been able to get the truth on. We've not been able to dive into those type of things, what's happened at the FBI as well. But to me, the whole thing yesterday was basically a nothing burger. There was nothing new that came to the table. And we were anticipating, we were told at the last minute that there were going to be some significant issues, and I just don't think that happened at all.
Congressman, it also came out during the hearing yesterday that Michael Cohen knocked down a story that had already been knocked down by the special counsel, but that there was a directive from the president to tell Michael Cohen to lie to Congress. So that was, unless people believe that Cohen wants more federal charges, that was fake news when that was initially reported. Michael Cohen has not been to Prague. Michael Cohen does not know anything about actual collusion with Russia. Are you going to get more answers and drill more down into the facts, hopefully, today? I mean, how can Republicans make the best use of the time that they're going to have in this hearing with Michael Cohen?
Well, I won't be in the hearing that's taking place today, of course, so all we have to work with is what we had yesterday. And as I said, I just don't know that there's a whole lot of information there. There certainly was nothing new that came forth. I think really the highlight from yesterday is more of the reality that he can't be trusted. So you don't know what he's telling is the truth, what's not the truth. There was just nothing to rest upon. He has a pattern of deception and of lying And even yesterday, there were examples of him being inconsistent with his own story. So,
do you think it'll help?
At the end of the day, it's like,
Congressman, if the Democrats try to impeach Trump, is that actually going to help him in 2020?
Well, I think so. They're going down a path that it really appears to me that their hatred for the president is so great that it is preventing them from just dealing with everyday issues and legislation and those type of things. Just for example, what's happened on the border. A couple of years ago, the Democrats supported walls, but because of who's the president now in the White House, all of a sudden they're opposed to it. So it just seems like their hatred, their desire to get rid of the president has taken over so much of their agenda and their drive that it's difficult for them to even govern at this point. So I think that really is the direction the party is going.
One of the most significant allegations that was made yesterday by Michael Cohen was that the president committed campaign finance violations and financial fraud while in office by engaging in these hush money payments. Michael Cohen, you may not trust him, but he brought, the receipt, so to speak, a check that the president had signed to reimburse him for the hush money payments. The president's team isn't even really denying at this point that that is what happened. Rudy Giuliani has said that the president did engage in these hush money payments to cover up alleged affairs with Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal. Is that something that you would like to look into further?
Well, he gave indication that there's an investigation going on that. I don't know if there is or not, but he certainly implied that there is in the Southern District. So we'll see if that investigation is in fact underway or not. But even to me, interesting with that was all he showed was a check. There was no paper trail to indicate. I mean, here's a guy who was the attorney for 10 years for Donald Trump. You would think an attorney receives checks from the guy that he's working for. And yes, there was a check that was revealed, but there was no proof of what the check was for.
You do have,
so even that, I think, where do you go with it?
You do have an audio tape of the president, working with Cohen to make those payments. You do have Cohen having pled guilty to those crimes. But I also wondered from you, I know you're a man of faith and a minister, and that's very important to you. Do you worry about the moral character of this president at all, that he would be paying off porn stars, whether it's illegal or not, days before the election?
Sure, I think those are issues that a lot of people had. And, it is what it is. But I think what the people love about this president is that he's doing what he said he would do. And because of that, I think a lot of people are willing to overlook some of the moral issues that have been around this president because he's building the wall, he's defending our country, he's standing up for the rights and the principles that he said he would do. And I think that is a strong motivation for the citizens who elected him.
Do you think that moral character matters, those in office? Did
Absolutely.
you think that when Bill Clinton was president?
Absolutely. I think it always matters. There's no question about that. Morality matters, character matters. Yes, I firmly believe that.
All right, Congressman, we appreciate you joining us, sir. Thank you very much.
Always great to be with you. Thank you.
Next up on Rising, despite renewed calls to start impeachment proceedings for President Trump, Speaker Pelosi appears to be shying away from that.
And a veto to a rebuke to an emergency declaration. That's the legislative whirlpool the national emergency is currently in. The Hill's editor-in-chief, Bob Cusack, predicts how big the Washington storm could get. We're mixing analogies up left and right. It's going to be fun. Rising is continuing. Yay.